Hey guys, what's up? This is Ernest Odell up in Lubbock, Texas, or if you northerners up there in the Midwest, down here in Lubbock, Texas. I have been sitting here for the past 2 hours waiting for my favorite show to come on every Sunday night for the past year during COVID lockdown. Ken and Glenn and a guy named Scott. Ken Walls, Glenn Morshire, and Scott McCain came on here and entertained thousands across several channels in YouTube and Periscope uh, and several other channels. I can't even think of all the channels that they were on. And now they are going back since, the world is going off of quarantine and opening back up. It should have never been shut down in the first place. So now I've got two rants tonight, okay? Rant number one is short. Everybody knows that rant. World should have never got shut down in the first place, okay? Take precautions, yes. If you're sick, stay home. If you go out, wear a mask if you're around others. If you don't want to wear a mask, then stay away from those who might have an attitude about it, okay? I didn't wear a mask. My second rant is I got hooked on Ken and Glenn, okay? So this is kind of a shout out to Ken and Glenn and Scott. Ken Walls, Glenn Morshire, and Scott McCain. One of the first live streams I ever did here on StreamYard, Ken Walls came on, was very honored for him to come on to my show, and Glenn Morshire came on. I have yet to have Scott McCain come on. Look forward to that someday. I've been on shows with Mark Gassert. I have, and Lynn Serrano and Mark Rodriguez. I've made so many new friends. Real friends that we've gotten on screen, we've talked to each other. We have actually been on screen and talked with each other. And I've made a lot of new friends. In the past year, people that I actually talked to, and some of them we've even called each other on the phone and talked to each other on Messenger and gotten on some live streams. I had used Facebook Live before and hadn't quite, really gotten accustomed to StreamYard all that much until I saw Ken Walls using it a lot. And, I got to give a shout out to Ken. He's the king of live stream, teach you how to use live streaming with his Grow Live Academy. If you're going to get his Grow Live Academy, let me just go ahead and say, get a plug in here. You better get it quick because it was, I think, $497 for a 1 year, or is that per year? I don't know. Ken, you'll have to elaborate. But he's 10xing the price, and I don't know when, but it's going up, and it's worth $5,000. Trust me, his course will make you some money. It's worth $5,000 if you can, spring and get it. Learn the skills of live streaming on Facebook, your Facebook channels, your Twitter, Periscope, your YouTube channels. I'm broadcasting on 3 YouTube channels right now. Three of my YouTube channels. Coaching and being the high-tech programmer, I'm learning new things, with WordPress. I'm not an expert with WordPress. I do all right with it. I tell you who is good, and I want to have him on my show sometime. It's Tyler Moore. If you go to YouTube and look up Tyler Moore, TYLERMOORE 2021, and look at some of his most recent tutorials. He shows you how, yeah, it takes a couple hours, hour and a half, 2 hours, but he shows you from start to finish how to build a website and make a beautiful website, you know, step by step, no step missed. Now, about the first 20, 25 minutes of his tutorial is all about hosting, you know, and he recommends HostGator because he gets a commission on it. All right. He gets a commission for everybody that signs up under him. But there's also a stream, you know, that I use. I use Global Domains International. It's a little bit cheaper, $10 a month. $1 extra a month for data privacy, $11 a month. You can pay 6 months or you can pay annually. The nice thing I like about GDI is that it's easy to use and it has an affiliate program on the back end, and you can host, you know, blogs and websites. You can really do a lot of stuff with it. But like I said, I am not all about just programming. Sometimes I just get on here and I want to say, you know, I'm going to miss the Ken and Glenn show. I mean, you know, the world's opening back up. Everybody's going back to work, and, you know, schedules are being made for speaking engagements. Ken just got back from Charlotte, I think, Charlotte, North Carolina. Where is Charlotte? Charlotte, South Carolina. Jeffrey Gittimer and Joe Soto had a mastermind over there this past week, and Ken and Doug Wing were over there. Doug Wing's from Utah. He's the son of the late Hal Wing, the founder of the Little Giant Ladder Company. They're all, you know, they all have their businesses to run, and, you know, scheduling conflicts is making it hard now that, you know, Glenn, he's going back to work. He's doing some TV series, work on The Resident. He's had some gigs in the movie and acting. You know, so people are going back to work. Okay. Hey, Robert, I see you. Hey, guy. Yeah, it was the 10X weekend. Yes, Robert, it was. You know, and we're all high again. And yeah, you know, we're all getting busy. I have been busy. I guess for the past month, 2 months, I don't want to brag and say that our Texas governor led the revolution against this quarantine lockdown nonsense, but he was amongst many other governors that, you know, said, this is it, you know, it's over. You know, you can fool the people some of the time. You can fool some people all the time, all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, and you can't do it for very damn long, okay? Let's just face it. You can fool some people all the time, but there's very few of them, okay? So people are going back to work. And I've been busy. You know, I've been picking up a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of work and picking up, you know, business and new customers. Hey, Doug, what's up, guy? Glad to see you here. Doug and Michael Penny. Doug Kuzma, or Kuzma, I think Doug says it, Kuzma. He has got a great, beautiful vinyl wrap business put together that he makes vinyl wraps for cars. You can advertise. Doug, I got to get with you, okay, and get a decal or something on the back of my pickup truck. As we say here in Texas, my pick 'em up truck, okay? My pick 'em up. I'm too old to go pick up chicks anymore. Okay. But I got to get something on my pick 'em up truck. Okay. To pick up some new customers. And I need to get with you and bat some ideas around about making a decal for my back window on the pickup truck. I can't put a whole lot on the truck, you know, but I can on the back window as long as it's opaque and I can see through it. Hey, Russ, glad to see you here. Good that you can come in on my YouTube channel. Russ is one of my viewers over on my YouTube channel. And like I said, I'm not all about business. I do like to kind of get on here and just chat, sit back, and spend some time with my friends. Yes, those wraps can be really nice, and they can also be used to advertise your business. I just recently started another blog, ushomeworkforce.ws, hosted on the Global Domains International server for $10 a month. It's nice and crisp, and I put it together. And you know what? I was trying to curate some content, and I'm thinking, you know, how do I get all this old stuff that I've been doing for the past 7 or 8 years and repackage it? They have an import tool. Okay, listen up, all you WordPress users out there, and you too, Doug, you and Michael Penny. If you ever go to curate your content back, you know, from 5, 6 years ago from another blog, you can import that content. But, you know, on your blog, you might not want to do that. But my blog is just kind of, you know, my personal blog is just kind of an experiment. But I've been really excited about learning some of these new themes. And I've been busy doing that. And I've been busy picking up some new customers and picking up some new accounts. And I just, you know, I've been busy over the past couple of months. The world is opening back up. I don't get much time to, you know, to follow some of the people that I was following during the lockdown, watching some of the shows, the daily shows that Scott McCain did with Distinction Nation, the Daily Distinction, watching Jeffrey Gitomer's daily program, the 959 with Jeffrey Gitomer. Don't miss it. It's good. You want to learn some sales tips and get to know some people. Ken Walls is always interviewing somebody every day. And then, of course, Mark Gassert and my buddies over there, they've got their Elevate Your Profits program. They're doing that. You know, so, you know, people are really moving forward. I am going to miss the Ken and Glenn show and a guy named Scott, because I look forward to that every Sunday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern. But because of scheduling conflicts, they're probably not going to do it that often. But Ken said that he and Jill will be doing a show, starting a show. So, you know, tune in to Ken Walls and stay tuned in to Glenn Morshower and Scott McCain and, you know, everybody that you've come to know. Doug Kuzma and Michael Penny have a show. I think they do one. Doug has been, you know, a little rough around the edges with food poisoning, I think, here recently, he said on his timeline. So I'm hoping that Doug gets a lot better and starts healing up from that, so that, you know, we can all get back to posting, doing our videos and our blogs and develop a following. You know, you've got a following of people. I see Hans from the Philippines. Hambul Rekwadan, my niece's nephew, Angie, over in Baguio. Hans is always getting on his auntie's telephone, and sometimes he logs into his own account. I see Doug and Mike did a show tonight. They did one earlier. We'll have to, yeah, you just got done with it. Okay, I'll have to jump over and see if I can catch a replay. I have been slammed, and I've been learning Elementor and Gutenberg and all these new themes with some of these customers that wanted me to do some work for them. So that's good. Keeps me busy. Keeps me out of trouble. Okay, keeps me out of the desk drawer, if you know what I mean. I haven't been in the desk drawer in over a year because there ain't nothing there. That's just a joke. But you guys, so you did a little bit, but no Mike. I guess Mike is getting busy. He's got to go back to do his work. And some of us work late. Some of us work 7 days a week. I decided to take off today and just kind of do a little bit of work on some of the websites that I was working on. But I do a lot of coaching with my team. But I thought tonight, I'm not going to do a coaching call. I'm just going to get on and talk to y'all, talk to some of my friends, and because I'm like, here, what are we going to do? Oh, send my regards to Mike if he's not online. Mike had a death in the family. Send my regards to Mike, and rest in peace to his family member. But yeah, that will keep us, off of social media for a while. Robert, you're so right. I do need to continue with the imperfect action, better than no action. And there's a point to be made about that. Even imperfect action, as long as it's consistent, okay, this is what I have in my desk drawer. And I still have my Ken and Glenn and a guy named Scott coffee cup. I remember Ken sent that to me right at the very beginning of COVID last year, or just before COVID. And it's the consistency of the action that develops into perfection. Imperfect action, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's consistent. Because with the consistency, the imperfection will metamorph. It'll morph into perfection, okay? And yeah, you're right. It's better than no action at all, okay? Yeah, hang on a second here. Let me jump on, grab here the invite, copy the clipboard, and jump back over here on my timeline real quick and look up Doug. And let's see. Doug, I'm sending it to you through Messenger. There it is. Hey! We are live. What's
Can
up?
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. How you feeling, dude?
I'm feeling better. It's funny. How things? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a little echo.
Oh, let me turn your my speakers down.
How you feeling, dude? I think it's on the playback.
Funny. How things? Echo. Let me turn your my speakers down. Let me go out and come back in.
Okay.
Is it? It was delaying. Is it okay now?
Yeah, I think it is now.
Are we all right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all right
I did a show tonight, and if you can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I got to go out and come back in.
Okay.
Are we all right?
We'll let him fix his sound and let him jump back in. He'll be right back. I was on with your friend Carlos last night for about 3 hours. Yeah, that's a long show.
All right, is it still delaying or is it okay?
Yeah, it's still got some delay, but we'll work through it. I think it's just I don't know how you do it on your end. There's some settings down there on the StreamYard side.
All right, is it still delaying or is it okay?
Yeah, it's still got some delay. Yeah. I think it's just I don't know how you do it on your end. Nice thing about live streaming is everything is transparent.
What I can hear my voice is like 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a delay. Nice thing about live streaming is everything is transparent. It's about 20 seconds on my end.
What I can hear my voice is like 10 seconds behind. You're right. It's about 20 seconds behind.
Yeah, on my end.
So let me say this, and then I'll just get off.
It's about 20 seconds on my end.
All right. So after this goes by for 20 seconds, give me about 30 seconds, and I'm going to say something, and I'll just jump off. So let me say this.
Okay. Let me turn off the echo cancellation. I think I just made some adjustments on the echo cancellation. It might work now. Okay, let me turn off the echo cancellation. I think.
Hello?
I think I just made some adjustments on the echo cancellation. It might work now. Yeah.
Am I still coming through right away, or is it echoing?
What's echoing? Maybe if I just.
I've never had this issue.
Oh, I think it has to do with you have to be wearing headphones and using a high quality microphone. You do have a high quality microphone. So I'll automatically adjust the microphone volume and let the system do that, but it still has a little bit. Let him readjust and come back. Yeah, he's got a good microphone. He's got a professional microphone. So Monica and I were explaining ourselves to help Carlos to realize that he could still take compliments about his work better, and that was the why of all that praise we were heaping upon his head. If he's watching the StreamYard page or the Facebook page, he's on a Facebook page, so it might be. Let's see. Come back.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, great.
I know. I figured out the problem.
Yeah.
I still was on the Facebook page while I was talking to you on the StreamYard page.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to be on the StreamYard, and that's what Robert was pointing out.
I don't know. Sometimes, that's why I wonder how I even survive a smartphone when I'm not smart. Isn't it funny how God works? Because I'm going to tell you a quick
Yeah,
story, if you don't mind.
go ahead.
I've been really sick the last 4 or 5 days.
I
I thought
heard
I was
you.
over it, and then I came right back 2 days later, and even worse.
Yeah,
And what it is pure stubbornness, really. I think I was better, and then the people telling me how to get better, I didn't listen to them. They said, "Don't eat this, don't eat that. Hey, I feel better. I can eat that." No, your insides are not ready to eat anything yet. They're all inflamed from all that's been going on. But I thought, I could eat a big roast beef sub and it'd be just fine. It didn't work out that way. Of course, I've been taking the charcoal now, which helps a lot, activated charcoal. And I haven't had but 4 slices of toast and some rice today, and that's white rice. That's it. And my digestive system's working all right. But what I want to say is I still feel yucky and drained.
was it
And
food
and my
poisoning?
huh?
Was it food poisoning?
Not sure what it was, and it's still affecting me in somewhat. I don't have a fever. I found my thermometer, so that would rule out um, COVID or anything. I think it was, and I still might have parasites in me from the food. You know what I mean? It could be that,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
might have to go to the doctor and get something for that. But at any rate, I feel yucky. You know what I mean? And they've been bothering me and want me to do the show, and then I'm like, I canceled Saturday, and then to Friday, and then I canceled Saturday, and then today I called Mike, and he had let me know last night he was at the hospital, and his mother-in-law had a brain seizure or something, and then had 3 heart attacks in a row.
oh,
And then I called him this morning. And he said she had passed, and I said, "Hey man, just forget about the show for a while." And I told you the whole thing behind the show was that God spoke to me about doing the show. It wasn't about me just getting on there,
right.
And I felt terrible that I hadn't been on there, but I hadn't felt good enough to do the show. And I said, well, let me just get on. And if I can't go very long, I'll just let them know that's all I can do. I'm going to do all I can do. I feel like God's coached me through this whole thing to start with. So I prayed before I did it. I got on there, and we bring this girl on that's more or less a health advisor with COVID and everything else. And she helped me do the show. And darn, I didn't go an hour and 20 minutes. It's funny. God could heal you in the snap of his fingers if he wants to. I'm not saying I'm healed, but he wants me to get this message out to help people, about what we talk about in our show. And I'm not on here to promote my show. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you that he's touched me in a special way to where I could do it for an hour and 20 minutes and didn't think I could go 10 minutes, to be honest with you. So that's what I wanted
Well,
to
y'all are doing good. You and Mike doing good to have that show run for an hour and a half when you do.
Yeah, it's hard to continue to, especially now, me and you've talked about what's going on, and I'm not going to get into that on your show, but it's just when there's no more material and people want answers, it's hard to talk about something for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you get on there, and what you do is you ask people their questions, their concerns. You answer them as best as you can. You tell them what information you do have, and that how God is not finished with the human race. He still has plans for us. He's still going to take us in magnificent places, but we just need to keep our faith and keep our spirit and never give up. And that's the main message. And it's funny. Me and you talked about this in depth one night about I'm just an average guy in extraordinary times, and I feel like God is using me to talk to other people right now. I'm nobody special. I told you that. I'm nobody. I don't know why he's using me, but I at least feel as though he's using me to speak to other people to keep their hopes and their prayers and everything up. And I'm not a preacher. I don't thump the Bible every day, but me and you have talked for several hours about religion. And if you guys don't know, Ernest is big time, knows his stuff. He might as well have a master's degree in religion. And
Well,
I appreciate his
thanks.
counseling sometimes. I appreciate him talking to me and listening to me sometimes. But I just wanted to share that with you. This as though I forgot who you said in the Bible that God used was just ordinary people. He didn't use
Well, he
extraordinary,
used Moses, a murderer,
right?
and Moses claimed to have a speech impediment and tried to give God an excuse. He says, "Well, I don't speak good, Lord." He said, "Well," and the Lord told me, He said, "Well, that's all right. I'll have Aaron do your speaking for you." He says, "You ain't getting out of this job. I've picked you. I've got you for the job, okay?"
Yeah. So that's
and he says, "What? He started stuttering. He said, "Well, Lord, I've got a warrant out for my arrest, for killing one of them Egyptian guards back there about 14 years ago."
Right.
He said, "That's all right." He said, "I've taken care of that."
How do you like that eagle that printer made me behind me?
I see that.
Yeah.
Did you put that on the wall?
Yeah, it's stuck to the wall.
I'm going to have to send you the dimensions of my back window on the Chevy Colorado. It's a 2019.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do something for the U.S. home workforce, because I'm going to get that back up and running.
Yeah, get that. Give me a little more information on them, what their logo looks like, and of course, if it says, "Did you say USA?" We can definitely put the eagle. We can put the flags.
It's
put
got
all that to make it look good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got the eagle in the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you the banner that I'm using at ushomeworkforce.ws. I'll just have to send you the banner and see what you can do with it. It's probably a JPEG, or it's not a real big quality, but I don't know. Maybe you have the software to make it.
I can look at it, and I'm not bragging. I probably can make something very close to it and make it as big as I want.
Make it big and
just recreate the same thing. That's what I did with stuff.
I used to have this shop over in Levelland do my decals and stuff on an opaque. This is red, white, and blue. It's got the eagle and everything. And they put it on a vinyl decal that went on the inside of the car window.
Really?
And you could see it from the outside.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm looking for is something that's UV resistant to go on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, that right there was no sense in me taking that and putting the laminate on that. It's in the house, you know what I mean? But normally anything I print to go outside gets the UV laminate. The vinyl and the print would be good for 4 years without it. With the laminate, it's good for up to 7 years.
Yeah.
Provided, you keep it clean and, and I would imagine, and I would say to go 5 years easy because you're out there in Texas. You know what I mean? The sun is beating out there in Texas.
Well, you know what? I garage the truck, so it doesn't sit outside. Oh, if I'm out and about, it's going to be a rolling billboard. People are going to see it, and they're going to see a solution to their hosting problems, and I'll pick up some business because when I was doing it on the old car, I was picking up some business.
New messages received from PLS.
I had people. Let's see, I just got another lead capture just came in. I always get a notification when somebody signs up on one of my pages.
Well, that's the best time to get back in touch with them when they're thinking about you. Let them know you love them right. Let them know you love them right back.
Yeah. He signed up on my $1,000 paydays. Excuse me. I had to scratch my nose. And I have these people ask me, how can you make $1,000 paydays? That don't sound real. That just sounds too good to be true. I said, well, if you charge enough money, you can make $1,000 a day. Yeah. All you got to do is sell one product a day. That's $1,000 product, right?
Hey, that's it. Sell it 10 times, you make $10,000.
Yeah. And if you got a
What people don't realize. It's just as hard to sell a dollar product as it is a $10,000 product.
Well,
Well,
and
but
that's
a $100 product is a $10,000 product. You got to make people believe it. First of all, you got to believe in your product, and you got to know how to market it, and you got to be able to want to shout it from the highest mountains how great your product is, and you use that product, and they want to see you using that product and how it's affecting you.
be a product of the product.
How that product can cure your problems.
Yeah, be a product of the product.
Yeah, that's all behind sales and marketing 101.
When a buddy of mine years ago in Houston, Texas, used to sell Rolls Royces, and at the time I was selling Fords, he said, how many Fords do you have to sell in a month to make a halfway decent living? I said, well, I've got to sell like 10 units a month just to keep my job. Okay. If you didn't do 10 a month and you were just doing the minimum, and if you didn't start doing more than that, they'd fire you. But 10 a month, you could keep your job. And I said, how many of those Rolls Royces do you have to sell? He says, no, maybe one a month or 2 or 3 a year to make a decent living. He says, but I do better than that, because he was in Houston and he dealt with a lot of these.
Oh, yeah, you got the oil tycoons out there.
He had the oil tycoons and the rich socialites from River Oaks. They were coming in there. He was selling 1 or 2 a month. So.
Somebody told me a funny story about, was it Muhammad Ali or something had a Rolls Royce and it broke down, and the guy tried to get out and look to raise the hood. There's no hood latch on a Rolls Royce. They don't want you touching it. It breaks down. You call the wrecker. They don't want you opening the hood. And you notice the top brands in the world, Rolls Royce, Jaguar, not as much anymore. But Rolls Royce, they don't advertise. How much do you see Rolex watches advertised? These things sell themselves.
You're talking about that Rolls Royce pulling it in on a wrecker. I heard a variation of that story. The guy had a Rolls Royce and it broke down on the side of the road, so he called. Rolls Royce mechanic came out there, had a key to the latch, raised up the bonnet and fixed it, put it back down. He says, where's my bill? He says, oh, no bill, sir. I says, well, I broke down. You came to repair it. He says, oh, no, sir. He says, you don't have it right. He said, Rolls Royces don't break down. And then he drove over, and I thought it was kind of a cute story.
Yeah, but with products in general, when you're selling a product, if you're selling a service, you got to be able to put it out there. Anything. I learned in sales a long time ago, you might have to talk to 200 people before you get a yes.
Yeah, Robert makes a point. He said he's seen the underneath of a Bentley Continental GT. The Bentley Continental, the 2014, it had that kind of a sky blue. That was a pretty car. On the inside and outside, but the underside, he's right, man. The underside of these Bentleys and Rolls Royces, they're not pretty. There was no thought given, and he's right. There's no thought given to the ease of repair, and they don't want you working on them.
No, they don't want you touching them.
No, they don't want you touching them. You're not a certified Rolls or a Bentley mechanic.
If you think about it, you don't see a lot of Bentleys in my area. You wouldn't see them. I don't live in a super area like you'd probably see them up in New York City. You might see some, like you said, out Houston way, and you might see some in Dallas.
We got a few
LA,
here.
Stuff like that, Bentleys, and we're in Florida. You might see some, but around where I'm at, if I see a Rolls Royce, it's something special. Wow, look at that. It's not something I might see 1 or 2 a year. That's it.
I saw a guy pull up in the parking lot out in front of the grocery store one day, and he had a Rolls Royce It was the, I think it was, he said it was a Rolls Royce Ghost, and it was an 85. And the 85 Ghost was a little bit bigger than the Corniche. The Corniche was a 2-door coupe, and the Ghost was, you could get it in 2-door, 4-door sedan. And I said, "What are you doing with it up on the?" And he says, "Well, it runs." He said, "I'm just taking it home, and I'm going to shine it up." He got it for 20. I think no, he said $2,000, not 20,000.
Wow.
He said, and the resale value for an older Rolls is really not all that high. He said, you can get one and they're still fairly dependable, but they're expensive to have service.
Oh yeah, well, there's not a lot of people that work on them things.
Yeah, and he said he had to get the key to the bonnet to get under it, but he said the Rolls people told him that they would much prefer, even though it was like a 40-year-old car going on 40, they would still prefer to fly a Rolls mechanic out to it, and check it out. So that's what they did. They flew in a Rolls mechanic from, I think it was Cruise, England or something, or one of the service centers in Houston or Dallas. They flew down to Lubbock, and he came, picked them up, and they serviced it. And, it was perfect condition. He had it repainted. It was one of those real light yellow.
Right.
Looked like cream of chicken soup. Yellow was not one of my favorite colors. I tell you, the favorite color I saw on a Corniche was a candy apple red. Oh
yeah.
And it had little hints of metal flake or glitter or something, and it looked like glitter. It had a white top on it, and it had white sheepskin upholstery and white leather interior. And I said, "Oh, that was the most beautiful car I've ever seen." That little red Rolls Corniche sitting on the showroom floor. And this guy come in, was talking to John, and he says, "What are the payments on that thing?" And I looked at him, I said, "You got to ask about payments on a Rolls Royce, son. You can't afford it." It's kind of like old Fred Thompson telling Jack Ryan in the movie Red October. He said, the Ruskies don't take a dump, son, without a plan. It's kind of like that tone.
Right.
That Texas swagger or the Tennessee swagger that Fred Thompson had. He says, I said, "You got to ask about payments, son." Yeah. You can't afford it. I had that Fred Thompson swagger.
I got you. Well, I just wanted to jump on here for a minute with you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did an hour and 20 minutes over there. I spent about 30 minutes with you. And then I don't want to push it. So I'm going to say goodnight. Appreciate you letting me jump on your
You
stream.
bet. I'm glad somebody came on and,
And we'll talk to you soon, Ernest. You have a good night, sir.
All right. You too. Have a good night. And a good weekend to Doug Kuzma. And I hope he gets to feeling better. I guess you can sip on soup and broth and rice and kind of let your innards heal up before you go back to solid food. But yeah, I love a good roast beef sandwich. Love a good roast beef sandwich. The roast beef with grilled onions and bell peppers on a toasted hoagie bun and melted Swiss cheese. Oh man, starting to make myself hungry here. I'm gonna have to go into the kitchen and fix me something to eat. Good night, Doug. But yeah, like I said, you know, I don't always talk about work and training and all that. Sometimes I just want to get on here and hang out with some friends and see if anybody's going on. I've been going on here for 46 minutes. So, yeah, Korean food. I love Korean food. Kimchi and that green horseradish that they have. Oh, you talk about burn yourself, burn good. Okay. Indian food. I love Indian food and Indian curry. So anyway, I'm going to call it an evening. Hope everybody has a good year from here on out. And just, yeah, wasabi. That's it, Robert. Wasabi. I have some. I just couldn't think. I got kimchi and wasabi. Let's see what the government elites try to spring on us this time. You know, see what they said. Well, COVID didn't last but about a year. Let's see what else we can spring on. I said, well, you know, we're ready for you. You know, spring. You know, cry wolf around us too many times, and we're just not going to drink Kool-Aid no more. We're going back to work. I'm going to call it an evening, and y'all have a good evening and what's left of your weekend. Going back to work starting tomorrow. Have a good night. Love y'all, and I'll talk to you on the next flip flop.